So step 26, that's what we're on next. And this is all about getting the steering straight. So this section is asking you to connect the battery and to adjust the steering rods to make sure that the steering is nice and parallel, and we'll see what it's like. So let's pop in the battery, which is what we've done here. So we've popped a battery on and we've got our controller. Here we go. So our controller here. So on with our controller first. On with our systems. Systems checks good. Okay. And first step is all about the steering. So let's see. I've got a left turn and it turns left, which is good. Left turn turns right. And do you know, that's pretty damn close, if I'm being honest with you. I can't see without putting the wheels on and putting everything together and going to take it for a run, but they look pretty parallel, to be honest with you. So I'm happy with that. And the second stage of this, while we're here, we may as well check that our motor runs forward. So we're looking for this shaft's. If I can bring the shaft back a bit, there we are. We're looking for this shaft to rotate forwards. Okay, so if I do it nice and slowly, as you can see, that's rotated forward, and we got power. So so far it's a good systems check. So steering is straight and we have power, and well, that's step 26 completed. We're moving on to step 27 now, and for step 27 we need some more components. So first stop, a BA8, which is over here, 3x10mm self-tapping screw, and to go with that we need also one of these BB12s, the 3mm washers. We need our bearings. Well, of course, plastic bearings, as you know, yuck. We're going with our full bearings. We need 6 of those. We need our BC9, which is our flanged nut. This is a nut that has a nylon locking system in the top, look. And that we need 4 of those, so that's 1 for each wheel. And we need 2 of these, which are the BC10s. These are the 2x10mm shafts. We also need to fix onto the back wheels. We're going to need some of these guys, which are the B3s. We need 2 of those, 1 for each side. And to fix the front wheels on, we just need the bearings and the flange nuts and our wheels, of course. And we also need this part here, which is a H2, which is the front post where the body will clip onto. So busy little step. I'm going to need our wheels, and you may remember the wheels were originally yellow, and anyone who knows me knows I've got a thing about wheels being wheel colour. So there we are. They're no longer yellow, they are now silver. Almost like they're alloys. That's the whole idea. So to do that, I literally had to take the tyres off, take them into the spray booth, give them a clean first of all, give them a light sanding so that they can key, and then a bit of primer so that's keyed on, and then yeah, then blast it with some silver. Anyway, so wheels and tyres next. So the first part, let's pop on the BA8 with the 3x10mm screw. Let's pop on the little 3mm washer over the top, and we take our H2 part and introduce our chassis, and this is going to sit in here, and we're going to collect that screw. So pop the screw through ready so we can collect the hole and screw that tightly through. While we're on the front section attaching this, we may as well get these bearings in place. So bearing in the front and a bearing in the rear of each wheel, like so. And then this goes on your stub axle, and Turn that on like that. And let's turn our attention to the rear wheels now, and similar fashion to the front, with a bearing, of course. So the bearing goes in and goes through. Then we take our little 2mm by 10mm shaft, and that goes through. And now suggest you turn so that that's horizontal, makes it a little bit easier, so that you can then get the B3 and place that over the top, and that engages. And then take one of your rear wheels, and the rear wheel engages with the B3 like that. And one of your flange nuts, I'll hold it in place. That is step 27 now completed. So we're now on step 28, and step 28 was about connecting the battery. Simple job, connect the battery underneath the battery compartment of your car. More importantly here is about connecting your wires to your motor. So you've got your wires to your motor and to your electronic speed controller. So from your electronic speed controller end, the manual is saying that depending on what electronic speed controller you have, you should have something along the lines for the plus, which is the plus to the motor. You should have something either like a red, orange, or a yellow. So in our case, on our Hobby Wing black version that came with the kit, and we've got the yellow wire, which is here. And for the negative, we have either a black or a blue. So again, on our case, we got the negative wire from the electronic speed controller as blue. Now they connect to your motor, and again, your motor will either have a yellow or a red for the positive. So in our case, we've got a yellow. And for the negative for the motor, you'll either have a green or a black. So in our case, we've got the green. So the connections are electronic speed controller yellow to motor yellow, electronic speed controller blue to motor green. Okay, that's step 28 completed. For step 29 is all about cable management, and I've kind of done that already in the previous steps. So as you can see here, I've routed my servo wire from the front through a small hole that I placed through there, and then it goes around the outside, and then that attaches to my port 1 of our receiver. Our electronic speed controller wire goes around the back, and then loops into our port 2 on our receiver. And last but not least, a little bit of the they call it the wibbly wobbly, but it's the aerial tube. So here's our aerial, and cut this tube according to the size that you need for your aerial. So this would depend on your receiver and how long your aerial wire is on your receiver. And once you've cut it to the right length, you then pop that in place and push that into the hole, and it goes through like that. And it tells you to route the aerial cable down in a channel. There's like a little channel beforehand, but again with mine, I've managed to pop a little hole at the bottom of that channel and routed my aerial up through the bottom and out through, and it comes out through the top. So that's the aerial in place as well. So that is now step 29 completed. We move on to the bodywork. So step 30, 31, 32, 33, 34 is all about bodywork. So the bodywork I've been doing separately because, as you can imagine, can't do that upstairs in a spare room. You have to have painting and whatever. And I kind of done something different with my bodywork, hoping that you will like. Back to the chassis though, if we go back to step 35, we need to put the rear body mount system in with a couple of these BC6s, and that's what we're going to do next. Okay, on to step 35. So step 35, we need to put this H1 part, which is the rear body mount section. We need to put that on with a couple of the BC6s, which are the 3x18mm self-tapping screws, a couple of those, and need to get this orientation correct, so with this facing inwards, and this is going to align with these. I can get this in shot. Going to align with these here, and the screws, we're going to collect the inner holes, so these two inner holes here and here, and that's going to go here and here. Okay, so we're going to tighten those up. There you go. So that's the rear body mount on, and then now we've got the rear body mount on, I'll put it back into the orientation. As you can see, we can now place our body on and present our body for the next step.